Okay, this is Mirror's Edge. So right off the bat, I'm going to be doing a lot of tricks, so I'll just get to explaining those. The first trick in the run that I'm going to be using pretty much for the entire run is called the side jump boost, and that's it. Basically, if you turn 90 degrees and then... yeah, that's a good idea. 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the bat, I'm going to do a side jump boost, which is basically dodging to the side and moving my camera 90 degrees at the same time, and it sets your speed to full. That's a roll.
By the way, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, new speed strat, the countdown skip.
Yeah. Next is going to be bunny hopping, so whenever you jump while you're at full speed, you gain a little bit more speed. And that right there, that's a kick glitch. We're going to be using those a lot during the run. Here's another one. And one more for good measure. You can kick open doors, it's slightly faster than opening them normally. Oh, yeah. So hints pop up the first time you play the game on any new computer. That's a thing. Okay, that was fast. There's an optional strat that you can do here. It's a couple seconds faster than the strat that I'm going to be doing, but it's very risky, so I'm not going to do it. There's probably another trick that I'm forgetting, like wall boosting. If you double jump really fast while you're hugging a wall, oh boy, you gain more speed like this. I'm going to be doing those a lot also during the run. That's a good speed vault. That one I did right there is a wall climb sidestep, so if you do a side dodge while you're wall climbing, you can move sideways on the wall. So that's an audio cue. Once he says do it the second time, you can jump to the helicopter. If you do it any earlier, you just die. So this is the first real chapter of the game. That's really just the prologue. And the story of the game really starts in this chapter. Basically, we're a runner, and we're tasked with delivering packages clandestinely in some kind of dystopia. And we're going to be meeting our... Oh, that's not the correct input. We're going to be meeting our sister here in this office because she discovered the body of the mayor, or one of the mayoral candidates. And she's going to be framed for doing that. So you can spam the action key when you're doing another animation, like a slide, when you get into an elevator to glitch the buttons, and you don't have to press the buttons. It presses the buttons without pressing the buttons. And that's the last hint screen we're going to get. So here, I'm going to try and do movement to skip. I didn't get it. I'm going to probably die here. Yeah. You can wall run on a piece of wall there and skip the long way of this room. That's not it, but I'm going to live. So this is the first major skip in the run. It's called Chapter 1 skip. It saves about 15-ish seconds if you do it really fast. So I'll try and get it really fast, but if I don't, there's a backup. I didn't get it really fast. Alright, so that's it. So as you can see, this game is really broken. There's going to be a lot more skips like this in the run. The first of many. This next section is just pretty hard movement like the rest of the game. And there's a lot to do, and I forgot that there's... So normally you would take damage from a fall of that height, but if you do it right there, you don't take damage for some reason. If you do a kick glitch, which is kicking off of a wall while you're on the ground, you can do a ground kick glitch. Gives you a bunch of speed. Yeah, I'm basically just going to be trying to go fast and explaining mostly what I'm going to be doing for big skips. But this game is actually really hard, so if I'm ever quiet for a few seconds, I was focusing on not dying. There is going to be a trick coming up after this hallway where I can clip into this elevator. I did not get it because I did the incorrect input. So there I jumped into this corner and crouched and did the scroll up input to glitch the buttons. But you're not supposed to do a crouch, you're supposed to do a Q-turn so that you're facing this way. And then you get elevated up to the top of the elevator. And you can jump out a few seconds early.
Take the bridge across the avenue and head to the security file. The squad car's moving in on you. You ain't got much time. They're trying to cut you off the head base. Get through them quick.
So this section is pretty self-explanatory. Just boosting off a bunch of walls. I didn't get it. There, you can do a really big boost off of that wall and get over that little barrier. So you can chain multiple wall boosts together for bigger boosts. I'm going to be trying to do that a few times here, so that's one. I didn't get that one.
Should be an exit off the rail overpass in the plaza ahead. Creek heads to the other side to get down.
Okay, so we're almost done with Chapter 1. I'm going to be trying to kick glitch across a big gap where normally you'd have to climb up this whole big structure and take a zip line across.
The rail overpass. It's the only way through.
And that's it. So that's Chapter 1 done. So here at the start of Chapter 2, I'm going to be trying a trick called Cannoli. It's pretty difficult. One of the probably top 3 difficult skips in the game. At least of the ones that are used in any percent. And if I get it, it saves about 45 seconds. If I don't get it, I lose about a minute. So we'll hope I get it, and it'll look really cool. But if I don't, it's not a big deal. So here we're just wall boosting to get up to where I'm going to set up for the skip. And it's a sequence of 4 kick glitches that are pretty precise, but really all of the difficulty is in the first 2, so we'll see if I can get it. I didn't get it. Careful not to new game there. Happens a lot during races. So normally, if you get that trick, you're placed in the storm drains, which is way further on in the level. And it looks really cool. Sad I couldn't show it off, but I'm gonna have to go the normal way. So this is canals, and if you are slow, you can die by guards, but we're not gonna die by guards because we're fast. So there's an alternate way to get down into storm drains that's faster than the normal intended route, but isn't as fast as the trick that I tried to do. Here we're going to use the interact glitch to skip turning that valve. It's really slow. So we're coming up on the entrance to storm drains, and we're going to just go right out of bounds by getting over this fence. And you can tell we're out of bounds because this building doesn't exist. That's bad. So I tried to do bunny hops there, but it didn't work because I wasn't going at full speed, I guess. I'm not really too sure. This game is pretty complicated as a speed game. So here I'm going to try and die and hit a checkpoint at the same time, and I got it. And we're in storm drains now. So doing that trick back in storm drains would have put me into this room, but I didn't get it. So storm drains is pretty infamous in the speedrun because it's very easy to die because the movement, if you want to go really fast, is pretty difficult. So I'm going to be attempting some of the difficult movement, but not all of it. because it's very difficult and loses quite a bit of time if you fail it.
Hey, get something on the wires. Shit. Looks like they anticipated you might duck in here and send a sniper team ahead. Take those
So you can jump off ladders early, and it's slightly faster than... that's bad. It's slightly faster than climbing the ladders the normal way. Here we're going to use a hidden springboard to climb up on here earlier than you're normally supposed to. Get some nice boosts here. And instead of taking the zip line across, we're going to kick glitch over here. Hit the button.
You're inside. Get out of there, Faith.
Do some nifty movement here. And take a slide. Normally, the game intends for you to take a hard landing here, but if you jump it right there, you can skip that and it saves a couple seconds. I didn't get it. If you waited a couple seconds, not even a couple seconds, but just a little while longer, I could have been able to slide under there. So this is Storm Drain's exit climb. It looks way easier than it is, and at the same time, it's not that difficult. Wow, I was really low there. That was really risky. So here, if you run on this rail for just the right amount of time, you can skip having to do a bunch of puzzle platforming. It's not going to make it. That's it. So here we're going to wait for a crane to pick up some I-beams. And in Chapter 2, we're trying to go after our lead of someone who framed our sister. His name is Jackknife. We're going to be seeing him a lot. Well, maybe not a lot, but he's kind of the main antagonist of the game. That's bad. That was weird. My sensitivity got changed. Couldn't move my mouse. So we're going to clip this elevator.
Something about Pope's murder, so don't let him wind you up, okay? He used to be a pretty decent runner. God knows who he's working for now.
Walk out when he says working. And now this level isn't fully loaded, so we're going to wait for him to spawn. 3, 2, 1. Move forward, and he's going to be a ghost. So you'll be able to hear his movements, but he's not going to actually be here. So this is called Chase, and if you die in Chase, you got to go all the way back to the beginning, and it loses a lot of time. So I'm going to try not to die. Nice. There, if you jump at just the right time, you can skip having to do a slow climb. So that's 2 kick glitches chained together. Kind of precise, but not too bad. Should also mention that kick glitches are a frame perfect trick, but we cheat by using scroll wheel to jump. So here we glitch the elevator buttons again. And as soon as I get out, I'm going to skip a cutscene. Jackknife's going to knock himself out on the other side of this gap. And we're going to skip a bunch of platforming.
Can you find another way through there?
Nice. So that's the end of Chapter 2. Chapter 3's got some difficult movement in it, and one hard skip, one easy skip. Oh, that's bad. So there, you probably couldn't see it, but there's a pole that is the exact same color as the background wall, and it's really difficult to hit because it's very tiny. But you can kick glitch off of it and get across, but I failed it again. I'll try it one more time. Yeah, there we go. So here I'm going to skip a very small section of platforming by doing that. Oh, that's not good. You can get a kick glitch off those pipes to get a quick climb up here. And here I'm going to just very quickly get out of bounds by jumping onto this orange thing and climbing on top of a light. And we're going to use this to get into Pope's office, or Ropeburn's office, who is someone who's connected to the guy that we just, well, you didn't see it happen, but he told us that he was probably behind framing our sister. But really it was Jackknife all along. Nice. So we pick up a gun there just to shoot that door down. It's very, very, very slightly faster than kicking it open. Try and cancel the flashbang here. Got it. You can do a kick glitch off the left side of this wall and make it across, but it's kind of risky because if you die, you gotta restart from the beginning of the office. Or the beginning of the outside section of the office area there. Headphone users, mute your sound. You can unmute your sound. So there, if you interact many, many times on that button, it opens the doors far, far faster than just waiting for them to open if you interact with them once. So this is Chapter 3, Checkpoint C. Notoriously difficult part of the run because there's a lot of movement that can go wrong. That's not good. So a big part of going fast in this game is getting the fast climb animations, and that's a death, and it's going to cost basically the entire checkpoint because there's no checkpoints up until the end of this section. There is one that you can grab for safety, and that's what I'm going to do here, but it's a little slow. I'm also not going to do the bottom strat because it's also kind of difficult. Oh, wow. So there, I accidentally clicked the right-click button, which is the button to grab. We use that once in the entire run. Twice, if you grab the gun that I did in the office. Actually, no, it's 4 times, but whatever, doesn't matter. Here this helicopter is going to appear out of thin air. Nice. So that's it for 3C. This last section of Chapter 3 has a kind of big skip. Saves probably about 30 seconds or so. Basically skips doing a bunch of platforming around some scaffolding. Here I'm going to intentionally glitch this elevator in a bad way, where my reticle disappears. I'm going to wait for the load to show up, and now when I continue I'll be all the way up. I won't have to wait for the elevator to open. If you start pressing W at a certain time there, you instantly get set to full speed. Nice. So this is out of bounds. Hopefully I get this skip, align myself with the shadow. That's it. So this basically skipped all these scaffold sections to the right of me and behind me now. If you Q-turn in midair, you can slide off this mat. And that's it for Chapter 3.
Did you just do what I think you did? God damn it, girl. I just spilled my Joe all over the keyboard.
Hey, can you get a message to Miller? I need to see him again.
So this chapter has a really long fade out, and it's super annoying. This is Chapter 4. It's got probably the second largest skip in the game. Saves probably 3-ish minutes, maybe a little less. At the beginning, we're just going to climb on this building using some kind of precise movement. And then I'm going to get out of bounds by climbing on this wall, where normally you're supposed to go into this building. Nice. And then we're going to fall through this window. Die in a precise spot to grab a checkpoint. Nothing is loaded, but now we're in the subway. So I'm going to try a skip, very minor skip here, called Blue Wall, and you'll see why. Basically, it involves just jumping a lot at this wall in order to beat a train that's going to come and attempt to kill me, and I got it. So normally if you don't do that, you have to wait for the train to pass, which is obviously slower than not waiting for the train to pass. Ah, dang. There's a little strat there that you can do by jumping onto that rail at the bottom. It saves a couple seconds. So I won't be able to make this in one cycle. I'm going to have to wait for the train over there. Yeah. Not much going on in this chapter other than that big skip. At the end, there's going to be a 1 minute long auto-scroller. Oh, okay. So here's the auto-scroller. We're going to jump on this train. After this is going to be Chapter 5. One of the more difficult chapters because there's a lot of hard movement in it. There's a pretty... well, it's not that big, but there's a skip at the beginning that you can do. Saves around 7 or 8 seconds, I think. So here we're going to get intentionally knocked off by this sign. Normally, if you just stay on the train, it brings you all the way to the back of the tunnel and you have to run all the way back to that door. So that's Chapter 4. Normally in Chapter 4, you meet the guy that whose office we infiltrated in Chapter 3. Nice, first try. So if you can do a kick glitch off of a precise point on the wall up there, you can land on an invisible piece of wall, and you can get down to street level much faster than you would be able to otherwise. But yeah, we infiltrate his office in Chapter 3, and in Chapter 4, we go to try and meet him, but he actually gets shot by someone wearing armor, who we don't know who they are yet. And yeah. Mysteries. We're going to be encountering them way later in the game because we're going to skip the encounter with them in this chapter. We're going to clip this elevator. Saves a little bit of time. Nothing is loaded yet. Nice. So here I'm going to try and do another kick glitch off of this pole. Nice. You can get the faster version where you don't have to climb up there, but it's still fast. 2929 roll there. So here, normally in this next elevator shaft, you're supposed to climb up some pipes, but if you can do some... I failed it, but if you can do a wall run on this piece of thing at the back, it's way faster than climbing the pipes. Here we are going to have to climb a pipe. 2 pipes, actually. Jumping off pipes early saves a couple seconds every time you do it. Really adds up. So a lot of the optimization, oh shit. A lot of the optimization in this game comes from getting good animations for vaulting and climbing things. And every time you don't get a fast animation like that wasn't a fast animation, loses about a half a second or so. There's a chain of kick glitches that you can do here that saves a few seconds, but it's not worth it at all because it's fairly hard. Oh, strange. Here, you're going to try and do a springboard on this thing and get a wall run. Nice. Normally you're supposed to climb that small building behind the fence to get over. So once I get into the mall area after this elevator ride, there's going to be a trick that I'm going to do called a beamer. Basically, if you end up wall climbing and the wall geometry changes while you press the turnaround button, the game kind of forces you off of the wall with some blinding speed, and we're going to use that to skip about 30 to 35 seconds of chase and elevator ride. Nice. Fast animation there. So crawling through vents are really slow, and pretty much everywhere in the game where possible we're going to be skipping vents. Nice, first try. So that's a one-frame trick because you have to do it on the exact frame that the geometry of the wall changes. Notoriously difficult. So getting a slide into this vent is way faster than crawling, as you can see there. I'm going to try and do it again on this next vent coming up. It's pretty difficult, though.
Get higher, Faith.
No, didn't get it. So here we're going to be stopping this fan so that we can drop through and then make it across at the top of the wall. And then that's it for Chapter 5. So what I did just there is a neutral kick. So if you just press the attack button in midair while you don't have any horizontal speed in any direction, you can do a neutral kick, and it stops your vertical momentum a bit, so you won't have to take a hard fall animation. Oh, I got stuck on the wall there. Nice.
Should be one last door and you're out of there.
Didn't get the door kick.
My little friend.
So coming up is Chapter 6. There's going to be a really big skip right off the start, right off the top. Oops. So I'm going to grab a checkpoint for safety on this swing bar coming up. Hopefully I won't need it though. I'm gonna need it. So there, if you hit attack just before dying, you actually make the death animation much shorter. Alright, second try. So now we're out of bounds. You're not supposed to be here on street level. We're gonna go through this building that is not here, and then we're gonna climb on some stuff, and then I'm gonna press tab when I'm over some stuff, and then the factory is gonna load around me. Maybe. Yeah. Nice. Here we're going to press a button through a wall.
Should be somewhere below you.
Nice. So there you can skip this whole platforming section. I'm going to press that button through the wall. Where you have to platform down to the bottom of that area. But you can skip it by grabbing that piece of thing and dropping. So here is where we discover that secretly all along the city has been training runner cops to run after us because we've been very bad at transporting information across the city clandestinely. They've got tasers, and they hurt a lot, but we only see the taser version of them in 2 chapters from now. Dang. So we're coming up on the end of chapter 6. Nothing really too special. I'm gonna hope for the glass to break at the end of this hallway. Not this glass here. This glass always breaks, but this glass over here sometimes can break, and it lets you do a kick glitch off of the frame, which saves a little bit of time, but it's totally RNG. Oops. Do some nice wall boosts.
There's some train tracks up ahead of you. Should be a way out.
Grab the zip line. And that's pretty much it. We're done with chapter 6. Chapter 7 is the shortest chapter in the game. It's called The Boat. We don't go in the boat. We completely go around the boat.
Do it.
Basically, we're going to go out of bounds. Like really, really out of bounds. Hit a checkpoint trigger, and then quit out to the main menu and reload, and that'll put us at the boss of this stage. Lots of kick glitch chaining to get there. Hopefully I get the double here. No. So there, if you kick glitch right off the wall from the roof, saves a couple of seconds because you don't have to do the roll on the ground.
Sounds like it's time for a little stowaway action.
So this thing to the left of me is the boat. Normally you take a truck ride into it, and then there's some guys who shoot at you, and it's really, really slow. But if you get over here, nothing is loaded, and then you hit a checkpoint, and when you continue, we have exited the boat, and we're going to chase this person who is cooperating with Jackknife in order to frame our sister. Nice, so that was a really good fight. She can be kind of a dick if she rolls backwards, and then you have to run up to her and crouch and punch, and then it's a couple seconds slower, but it's still slower. Nice. So there you can do some fast movement if you go fast, but if you go slow you can't do it.
Get away from him, Faith.
That's not good. Hopefully I don't get tasered. Okay, nice. Oh, that's bad. So sometimes if you do a wall boost, the game can turn you around, and that's really bad because I almost killed myself there. I'm gonna glitch this elevator just like all the others. When I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna do a series of kind of precise but not really that precise kick glitches in order to skip going down to the bottom level of this area and climbing back up.
Locate that drop. I'll get on to Creek. See if you can
Nice, that's number 1. I missed that one, but you get 2 tries. Well, you get a few tries, but you only get 2 free tries. The reason why they're free tries is because if you do any more after that, the guards have caught up to you, and they can be a pain to deal with. You can press this button 1,000 times, it doesn't do anything, but it makes a funny noise. After I'm out of this elevator, we're going to be approaching the section of the game called Atrium.
you're about to reach.
And in the atrium, there's some kind of hard movement and a skip at the very top. So I'm going to hope to get all of the fast vault animations possible. So far, so good. So here I'm going to try and set up for this skip by doing a wall run, a wall climb and then turn jump and then getting up here. It's pretty precise movement, but it's not too hard. Nice, got it first try. Nice. Okay, so we are thoroughly out of bounds now, and if I climb up here, line myself up with this piece of scaffolding, look over here, and jump off, hit the checkpoint. And we skipped a very, very long vent crawling section, which is very slow.
Get to it, get that convoy in your sights. Find a way to slow it down.
Here I'm going to kill myself in order to spawn another truck behind an invisible wall, or a wall that doesn't exist, or a wall that does exist, but it doesn't have collision. So I'm going to bring the sniper rifle with me into this corner, line up here, got it. So that wall doesn't exist.
Route is clear. Shit, too late. They know where you are now.
Almost done with Chapter 8. Just a couple of sort of tight rolls to get down to the floor here. That's one. That's two. And we're done with Chapter 8. So this is the last chapter of the game, Chapter 9. There's two kind of big skips and one kind of small skip. I'll try and get them all, but dang. That's just a little bit of movement that's kind of fast if you get it, but doesn't really lose that much time if you don't get it. Headphone users, turn down your volume. There's going to be an explosion here, but it's going to be like 10,000 times louder than it's supposed to be. Dang. You can get a kind of fast wall boost there if you press space at the correct time to jump off the wall. Okay. So accidentally there I glitched the button, but then also pressed it normally, so you get to see what the button pressing animation looks like. This elevator though, that elevator that I just left, if you glitch it in a bad way, it loses like a minute because you have to restart from all the way near the beginning of the level. So here I'm going to try a skip called Beverage Skip. Basically I'm going to get on top of the elevator, it's going to start moving up, and then I'm going to get way far into the level. I didn't get it. It's worth quitting and restarting because doing this part normally is really, really slow. Nice. Okay, so we're out of bounds, and I'm going to line myself up. It's not too precise. Look over here, and if I walk off right now, look over here, pause the game. All right, so now the building, or this room will load around me. I'll hit a checkpoint, and when I come back, I will be about a minute and a half to 2 minutes further on in the level, and I'm going to try and do a skip called Sniper Skip. It's not too precise, but it's kind of annoying. If you wall climb on this here, there we go. You can climb on this light, and then you can just walk on this, or jump on this paper-thin piece of wall. If you stop jumping, you'll die, but the snipers can't hit you, and it saves having to do this part normally. So we're almost at the end of the game here. I'm gonna try and clip this elevator because it saves a couple seconds.
There's an elevator ahead. I've managed to
Nah,
unlock
didn't get it.
Take it to a server room. You should be able to get to the top floors and
So this is the last like difficult part of the game. There's a clip that you can do up at the top, and it saves about 7 seconds. But it's also really risky. I'm gonna try it once because I got a lot of time to spare.
It looks like the security doors to the roof are closed. Okay. If you destroy those servers, their emergency protocol should automatically unlock the doors. I hope. Good luck, mate.
So normally you're supposed to grab one of these guys' guns and shoot all of the 4 servers in the 4 corners of the... Oh, I'm probably dead here. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm not dead. So that's it. You can clip that wall just by wall climbing in the correct spot. And it's faster than shooting the servers. So here, I'm going to climb to the top of the stairs, quit to the main menu to skip a cutscene. And then once I kick Jackknife out of the helicopter, that is time. So... these guards just don't want to shoot me for whatever reason. And apparently they disappear after this cutscene, which is really funny. So here we intentionally go slow because if you go too fast, the game just kind of like kills you. That's time. And that's Mirror's Edge. Thanks for watching.
Don't.